Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this webinar, which I'm really excited to say is a first look at Damar's Level 3 Apprenticeship in Management. I am Maria Grimsley, Recruitment Manager at Damar. I'm really pleased to introduce my colleague Simon Milk, and he is Damar's Programme Lead for Management. Simon, it's great to be with you this morning.
Thanks, Maria. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too. So firstly, Simon, who is this apprenticeship for?
Okay, the apprenticeship is for anyone new to management, but not just anyone new to management. It's for people who perhaps haven't studied management before, and it's for people that maybe found themselves managing a process but not necessarily managing people.
Okay.
So there's a lot of theory involved in it.
Okay, and I've heard the term building block. What
Yes.
is the purpose of the building block?
The building block, we look at this course as it's about laying a foundation and building on skills. And we break those skills into learning components or blocks.
Okay, nice and clear for us. And things have changed recently from the way we used to do training of management. I'm pleased to say it sounds really innovative, exciting, have lots of value. What is new in this training?
Absolutely, things have changed, and the change is for the better. It's a switch from apprenticeship frameworks to apprenticeship standards, and it's great news for training providers like ourselves, because a bit of honesty about this, the old frameworks were widely criticised. They were seen as prescriptive, and they were done at micro level. So box ticking,
we don't want that.
And assessment became key, and we often found that with many of our students, they didn't develop new knowledge or new skills. So the standards have come in, and we've got very concise requirements now. It's better, it's more user-friendly. It means we can be a bit more creative, and we now have clearly defined knowledge, skills and behaviours that we want to see from managers. And the whole process becomes about training people.
Fabulous, and that's what we want. That's what we want to focus on. Can you tell me?
Just to add to that as well, the old framework was about the achievement of a diploma and working towards credits and mandatory and optional units that weren't popular.
Right.
They weren't popular with our students, they weren't popular with many of our employers. So the standards are actually a departure from those qualifications, and everything becomes about the training and the endpoint assessment. And as a training provider, we're doing what we do best with training.
Yeah, and that's what our customers want.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about the new course? I'm already feeling interested.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about the content, maybe?
Absolutely. As you can see on the slide there, we've broken management into 10 useful components, what we call blocks. And we believe we've covered everything, and we believe the content is exceptional. So we're looking at managing the role, managing the team, the individual, the communications, the relationships, managing operations, managing projects, budgets, ICT, and importantly, managing ourselves.
Bit of everything in there.
Yeah, I honestly think we've covered everything.
What do you think the student journey will look like? Because obviously our potential students are going to want to know that.
Yeah, it's worth noting that this is a 15 to 18 month course. It's blended learning at its best. So there's classroom learning, online learning, there's an array of media we'll be using, there's one-to-one time with the tutor. It's real blended learning. And we put all of that into a portfolio, and it's a very valuable portfolio. We believe we've created
is a change.
The killer portfolio, if you like. And we hope that our students will take pride in this portfolio. It's going to be a little bit different. Alongside that, I said the qualification part is optional. We can throw in a management level 3 diploma, but that's optional.
Right.
And we'll talk about that a little bit later. We have to include maths and English where possible at level 2. So perhaps there's going to be a functional skills exam at level 2 for maths and English. You'll notice on the slide there's a gateway. This is a decision taken after a year into the course, at which point the training provider, ourselves, and the employer sit down and we decide if the student is ready to take the endpoint assessment,
Yeah.
whether they're showing the knowledge, skills, etc. When that decision's been made, we open up this endpoint assessment area. And this is a test of knowledge, a competency-based interview. We assess the portfolio, and there's a discussion on management. And this is all done by an independent body. It sounds scary. It shouldn't be. If the killer portfolio and all the content's in place, that should actually be a nice experience for our students.
A breeze by the sound of it.
Yeah.
So just going back to our lovely images of our Lego building blocks, I'm keen to learn a little bit more about those. Can you go through those with me, maybe starting with the role, because I think that's perhaps a good starting point, what that's about.
Block 1 is the role. It's about who you are, what you should be doing, and how you should be doing it as a manager. So we're looking at the role, the functions, and the principles of management. We have to start with theory, really.
Yeah.
Hence, we start with Henri Fail on the left, Kurt Lewin, Douglas McGregor, and we bring you right up to date with Henry Mentzberg on the far right. We throw in things like disciplinaries, we throw in health and safety, all about the role of management. But we try to bring it to life with a bit of a twist. We believe the content we've got is good and engaging. And looking at these people, it looks very difficult to bring them to life and make them interesting. It's not. They have some wonderful theories, and that's what Block 1 is all about.
Yeah, well, I feel interested just looking at those pictures. I must say they look pretty assertive guys to me. So Block 2.
Yeah.
I believe that's about the team. What's actually involved there?
Absolutely. It's about managing the team. Again, we've got the traditional theorists in place. We're going to bring those to life again. We've got some really good content. And this is stuff managers should know about their team. So we look at Tuckman, Belbin, John Adair, Elton Mayo, and we make it engaging. For the first time in a long time, we can make this content engaging and interesting to our students. And it's about managing the team effectively by knowing what you can get from them.
Fabulous.
You'll notice with that Elton Mayo on the far right there are 6 women in a room together.
That might be scary.
Really interesting theory there.
Why is that?
I can't wait to deliver that session.
Can you give us a hint?
Okay, if you imagine a manufacturing plant of thousands of workers, and we experiment with 6 women, take them out of that manufacturing plant and put them in a separate room, away from the others, how do they perform differently? What happens? And what Elton Mayo did was he messed with certain variables. So he changed the lighting for these 6 women. He changed the temperature.
Those ladies do like good lighting.
And he compared productivity with these different variations on these variables, and very interesting results there.
Yeah, I think we can learn a lot from that. Block number 3 is about individuals.
Yeah,
what do we mean by that?
This is about managing the individual on your team. It's about motivation, it's about coaching in the true sense of the word. It's about developing individuals and psychological contracts with individuals. It gets deep.
It is deep.
We go big on Hertzberg, who is, in my mind, a genius. I'd like to do 10 blocks about Hertzberg, to be honest. We also go big on coaching, and we look at the popular GROW model to develop the individuals on our team.
It's all about the people.
Absolutely.
Block 4.
Block 4 is
communication.
Yeah.
What's in there?
We desperately want our managers to have the ability to deliver effective formal meetings, and the impromptu team huddle. We're not seeing enough of that from our managers, and we want to develop their personal impacts, their charisma, their flair.
I like the word charisma.
Yeah.
Valuable in a manager, I feel. And communication valuable at every level.
Yeah.
So numerically then, block 5, about relationships. That's got to be key.
Yeah, this one hurts.
What do we expect from this then?
It's an interesting block because we avoid things, don't we? Block 5 is about addressing the difficult customers, conflict management, stakeholder management, and it is going to hurt our students. There's a lot of rigorous honesty involved in this one. Useful stuff though. And again, we're looking to develop managers so that they can handle these situations.
Well, two key subjects, well, all key subjects, but communication, relationships, have to agree. Any information we can get on managing those more effectively has got to add value. Number 6 in our Lego blocks, operations. What's that about? I mean, from your PowerPoint slides, I can see a picture of Frederick Taylor. He, I do believe, is a fairly controversial character. How are you going to bring him into the equation?
Yeah, you're right to point out that Taylor's controversial, should we say. He's widely accused of taking the soul out of the workplace. And there's a reason why the chap with the shovel has a frown. And what we like about Taylor is that he drove efficiency, and love him or hate him, he did business.
Yeah.
But we look at Taylor and we look at modern transformational models, which is about taking the key components of the workplace and delivering results. And
that's what our businesses want.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to drive efficiency.
True. Block number 7. Project management, getting a bit more technical now. There's surely a lot of work to do here.
Yeah, there is. This is a very high level look at project management. We try and keep things as simple as possible. In the space of a year and all the content that we've got to get in, we can only really provide the basic tools, but we aim to provide our students with the ability and knowledge to conduct a good project.
And it's something that any manager worth their salt is going to have a knowledge of.
Agreed.
Block 8, slightly more tricky one, because it's about budgets. You're a people person. I can see that. I know you, and obviously managers, it's all about how we manage people and how we are in ourselves. You're not an accountant, Simon, but what are we going to be doing here? We've got to do something. What are we going to be doing?
I'm going to be honest, I'm backing out of this one.
Very wise.
What I do know is that our award-winning AAT training team here at Damar have developed a perfect workshop.
Sounds like a perfect
It provides
answer.
the necessary budgeting skills, and it meets the requirements of the standards that we've talked about. I'm delighted with what I've seen so far.
Yeah, good bit of management there, Simon, bringing in the people who have the expertise.
Delegation.
Perfect planning. So we're moving towards the end of our blocks here. Our penultimate one.
Yep.
Block number 9, ICT. I can see you've gone a bit heavy on Microsoft, I should say, Excel here. Why is that?
I think you know perfectly why that is.
For the technophobes amongst us, maybe.
We found historically that our students often have this fear of spreadsheets. I know you
Me
have
too.
it yourself.
I have. I'm feeling it right now, just looking at that screen.
And what we aim to do in this workshop is take them from novice level and in the space of a day, get them presenting beautiful dashboards, calculations, charts, graphs and tables.
Wow.
It sounds optimistic. We've tried this on a sample audience and it's possible.
Will you have a go at teaching me?
Yes, you can attend the course.
Fabulous, because I would like to know more about it, most definitely.
I look forward to that.
Got a development need there. Number 10, it feels like we've got to this pretty quickly.
Yes.
The final block, I think, from a personal point of view, probably the most important is about self.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite deep, and a phrase you've used before, painful, because sometimes looking at ourselves is a bit revealing.
Yeah.
What's it all about?
Okay, 3 key components to this one. Time management, emotional intelligence that I know you're big on.
Very
Maria,
keen on, yeah.
and 360-degree feedback. And you're right, it's going to hurt. Time management panics people.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence, again, requires vigorous honesty. And 360-degree feedback is painful sometimes. But the aim is to gather this information and try and improve ourselves. It's a nice end point now because the truth is uncovered. It's interesting, and I think we can make it very engaging.
Well, I'm already engaged. There's lots of topics in there that would certainly make me feel very excited about taking up this training. You mentioned earlier on a portfolio, which, granted, not always been the most useful part of a qualification, but this time you're going to make it work. So what's going to be in there? Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, we are aiming to design the killer portfolio.
Woo-woo.
The one that you want to look back again and again
Yeah.
and I think we've designed it. I've on the slide there, I've just noted several of the things that are going to be in that portfolio, and we don't want it to just be a portfolio that is disregarded. We want people to carry it through the space of their career. We think we've got the components right. Because of the we're working from standards and not frameworks, we can include things that we want to include in it. Useful stuff, interesting stuff.
And standards are based on employer feedback, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they're real.
Absolutely.
Things that are valuable.
Employers have contributed to the standards. They've told people like us what they want. And we look forward to seeing some of the finished products from the portfolio.
Brilliant. So something really solid to look back on. Final question for you, or maybe I'll have another. If we want to pursue the diploma, what kind of work would we need to submit to actually achieve that?
Okay, on a very basic level, we're looking at 7 assignments.
Okay.
They're interesting assignments and they complement the course perfectly. So there's an assignment on personal development, resource planning, stakeholder needs, communicating information, identifying development opportunities, management communications, and a nice one looking at the self again, being the leader.
Yeah.
So theoretically, those assignments shouldn't hurt too much. They can actually be interesting.
Looks interesting to me. There's quite a few on there I'd like to learn more about right now. So if anybody that's listening to our webinar is interested, which I don't doubt that they are, how can they get in touch with us and how do they actually get the ball rolling so they can take up this fabulous training opportunity?
Okay, we've put the contact details on the slide, info@damartraining.com. Phone number's there, 0161 480 8171. Our website is there for you. It's www.damartraining.com. We're on Facebook and you can tweet us as well.
Could we contact you directly if we wanted to, Simon, as an expert?
Yeah, you can. It's simon.milk@damartraining.com.
Well, I'm very engaged. I'm very interested in the training and quite fancy taking it on myself, Simon. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you for listening. And I hope that you will approach us and want to find out more. Thank you.
Thank you.